So, hello there, badgers. Since it's a break in the rain, hello, Muppet. Off I go. Oh, come here then. Oh, come here then. Cheat. Cheat. Yeah. Look at this. Even in the winter, it's still gorgeous. It really is. We'll give it here then. So I thought I'd have a bit of a chat whilst I was a break in the rain. I might do another video. Like I said, there's a load of things I want to do, but I might be doing another video on doing another catch-up with the political compass, probably the alt values or 12 values test. Because whilst economically speaking, when I ask other people, when I compare myself to other people, like economically speaking, I'm still a leftist. And it seems I'm still a progressive. But at the same time, I'm getting treated as if I'm a centrist. Because I'm not a revolutionary. Yeah. And I get getting a bit frustrated again with my own, with our own side on the left, because I mean, it's not like I don't agree with a lot of the things that people say, but at the same time, I also think a lot of people's visions of what we need to do are not realistic. And it's not because I've been fooled by the right wing or, naysayers. It's because I've looked at this. I've decided I needed to learn about economics. You're right there, Muppet. Freddie, you're not supposed to be able to do that. Really? What? Oh, okay, apparently this ball is no bust. I don't know how, as it was fully pumped when I left. But now this ball is pumped. This ball is bust. Great. It's one of those slow puncture things again. And yes, for some reason the dog got wigged out by that tyre. Yeah, I want to see more state ownership. I want to see full state ownership of public services, because that's not something people should be making a profit out of. Especially when, especially when, people need public services. Petra, I want your ball, dipstick. Come on then. Don't even know how that ball's gone flat again. It's really fucked up. Yeah. And once again, I'm seeing people going, wealth taxes, and I'm like, well, Labour have put, they put wealth taxes on the wealthy. That's why they've been bitching so much. But not only that, more so they've been actually making the wealthy start to pay their damn taxes. And they've been bitching at that. But the left don't want to pay attention to that. Like, my fellow leftists don't want to, they're like, it's not extreme enough, so I don't care. Right? So, because it's not radical, this is not radical change, even though it's good change, it's still not radical change, so I don't care. Well, I'd like to understand what these people's understanding of evolution is. You know? As I said before, I'm wary of populist rhetoric, left or right. But I don't trust centrists either. Because, well, look how many promises we've had by centrists and they never go far enough. Yeah? So I get that. I do actually, to a point, I do understand the argument of, well, they never go far enough. But I'm not going to decry changes for the good, even if that's what, even if it's going back to what we had in the first place, or what we had a while ago. Most people are too short-termist in their thinking. So, and because of that, Petra, give me your ball. Come on, Muffy. Do him up here. Good girl. But it's one thing to go, yeah, no, it's not good enough for a whole term, but we're not even in a whole term. We're not even halfway through this parliamentary term yet. And people are going, this isn't enough. Without even giving time for the changes that Labour have put in to actually take place. I mean, even though, it has to be said that Labour have instituted changes, beneficial changes, I said before, hang on a second, I need to concentrate. These boots, Riggers boots, are fucking fantastic. And I have a third leg with my staff, but you still got to be wary. Devonshire red mud. Good old red clay, look at that. The amount of iron oxide in there. Good old rusty mud. I tell you what, for those people who never grown up on red clay, when I was at school, especially in primary school, it was white polo shirts. And there are areas down here where the mud isn't red, but it is in large parts red mud. And I tell you what, red mud is a bitch to try and get out of white t-shirts. Where's your ball? Sit here then. You got to give it here, you muppet. Bring it here. Well, give it here then. Well, give it here then. No, give it here. Muppet. Where are you going? How do you deal with the energetic side of the colic, the energetic collie? Well, how do you think I deal with it? Where you going, Muppet? What are you doing? Anticipation. Oh, go get it quick. Where is it? Good girl, Muppet. It's like, to me, sometimes, even those on the left you know, obviously on the right there's this whole thing about, you know, democracy is weak and stuff, but like I get this stuff from the left in part, and I think it's not even a conscious thing, which is weird. I want to heal you, dipstick. No, bring it here. No, bring it here. No, you gotta bring it here. Good girl, I'm up here. See, I love this place, I really do. It looks all drab and whatnot, but it's winter. What do you expect? But this, I like, you know, it's not all been cut down, and it's natural. Well, more natural than you often see in the countryside. Oh. So go on then. Don't know. Yeah, I once again, it kind of comes back to this kind of, I feel like people are being more absolutist in a world that really isn't full of absolutes. And the things that people are making into absolutes are actually more nuanced than they think. I mean, this whole opinion on Sir Keir Starmer, more and more people feed the notion that he's highly unpopular, the more unpopular he's going to be. Now, this is in part a fault of Sir Keir himself. You know, he's not doing anything properly to try and counter that narrative. But neither are people on the left. And, or, you know, on the left, all those progressives. Now, I do get why. But I do keep coming back to this thing of, are we not harming ourselves by saying that this Labour government is utterly shit? Because it's not utterly shit. It's really bad at communicating what it's doing, and even, you know, just general communication comms, right? But like, I can't get away from this thought that we on the left are actually causing our own problem as well. Like, yeah, Sir Keir and his team are hardly perfect. Like, they're really not fantastic, but they are a better government than we've had in a long while. I worry that because enough people say that just will continually say that nothing that they do will be good enough. Goes to what I was saying. You know, it's like a lot of people are losing sight of what actually is a democracy. Now, to me, you know, democracy is a nation where you have a government and, you know, that structure is you know, the makeup of that structure and the people who lead it and whatnot, you know, these are decided by the different peoples who make up that society. Now, a problem I have, hang on. What, are you getting it, are you, Muppet? Good girl. You got it, have you? Badger. No fear of brambles. I used to try and stop her from going in the brambles. I try to, but like most of the time now I don't actually try to get. Cause she's like a badger. She'll fucking dive straight into the brambles. I've seen this dog chew a stalk of Ramble that was like that fucking thick round. It was ridiculous. Trying to play tug of war with a fucking stalk of Bramble. You broken, are you, Muppet? I'll get you in it, get a new one. Even my old Staffy Nightmare didn't do that. Yeah. Anyway. So, yeah, to me, a democracy is made up of many different types of people, right? And the whole point of democracy is all of these different types of people who have a say in how the country should be run have to come to some kind of compromise or consensus, or /and consensus, maybe I should say, right? But it seems to me that a lot of time, most people treat democracy as if, you know, if you don't agree with me, then it's not a democracy. What? Now, you can argue with me on this, but that's how it comes across. You know, like I say I'm a leftist, and then people go, no, you're not far left enough, so you're not a leftist. You're a centrist. Well, no, I'm not a centrist. But at the same time, I'm not a communist. So yeah, I'm not an absolutist. And on the left and the right, and do you know what? Even apolitical people seem to be more and more often being drawn to this absolutist mindset of, like, you know, you can't come to a compromise, you can't come to agreements. Like, one side has to win. Now, against fascism, yeah, one side has to win. But like, on the side that's supposed to believe in democracy, should there not be consensus between the different peoples that make up that side? Because, like, to believe in democracy is to acknowledge the fact that our society is made up of many different types of people that think that, you know, that believe that in many different ways to run the country. And at some point you do have to come, like, in a democracy, you do have to come to some kind of compromise. Because otherwise we're just left in this mess. What do you think a PR system is? Now, our system is winner takes all. But it's becoming less and less, you know. We are at a point where tactical voting, as we saw in last year's election, is really effective. And I struggle to see why we who are supposed to believe in democracy cannot come to an agreement on how to fight the fash. It's really disheartening. Doing shit. I mean, if you're a leftist and you don't believe in democracy, then let me know. I'd like to have a talk with someone who's a leftist and does not believe that democracy is the right way. I just don't believe authoritarianism is the right way, you know? Dictatorship. No, I don't believe that we live in a dictatorship or a democracy, or in a dictatorship or authoritarian regime right now. I do believe the government is going down a more socially authoritarian line, especially on certain subjects like trans and immigration. But that lines up with, small c conservative thought, which you find, which is social policy, which is also seen on the left as well as the right, because left and right is economic policy. Progressivism and conservatism are social policy. I'm constantly seeing people saying that Labour need to do drastic things, right? Now, I really wish people would think about what they say when they say stuff like that. Because a lot of these radical ideas sound great, but have the ramification, you know, the mid to long term ramifications of such actions being accounted for. And we're talking about economic and social ramifications of such economic actions. And they come, you know, or even social changes, you know. Now, this doesn't mean to say that I don't think Labour should change their policy on trans, because they should, or on immigration, because they should. But it just... There's a reason why I don't... There's a couple of reasons, but the main reason why I don't trust polls, especially at the moment, especially if, you know, they're trying to predict what the next general election results are going to look like, is because we're not anywhere close to a general election. True, Starmer could call a snap election, but I very much doubt it at this point. You can argue with me, and I again welcome the argument, but I very much doubt we'll see a snap election. So I don't agree with the polls. I don't. Okay? You can argue and toss me on this all you like, but I've not been shown evidence of the otherwise. Well, give it here then. No, give it here. Give it here. Thank you. Now, you might say this is really dangerous. Oh, good girl. Yes, it's really dangerous. But, fuck it. Been ages since I've come here. Oh, I've been caught by brambles, right? Been ambushed by brambles. See here now. There we go. Shows us that one as well. Let's have a look. I always found it funny when I was growing up. People were like, "Oh, look, why are you touching the brambles? You hurt yourself." You just saw that I didn't hurt myself. Yeah, I wish people would stop coming at me with all the polls saying Starmer is the least popular Prime Minister ever. And I'm like, and I'm not short-term thinker, and the poll, anyone looking at the polls right now is thinking short-term. They can argue with me, no, because if it, well, no, that whole if argument means that it's, you know, your argument is short term. Right now he's unpopular. Yes. I'm not going to argue that. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean that he's going to be unpopular in, say, you know, 3.5 years. No, bring it here, you dipstick. No, bring it here. Muppet. No, dipstick. Bring it here. No, bring it here. No, bring it here. No, bring it here. There then. I mean, what do you think? You know, like, would you agree that there seems to be a misunderstanding you know, of what democracy actually is. Because I kind of think it's not an absolute thing. Again, I'm not an absolutist. But it does feel like that. What do you think, Muppet? Hey, what do you think, Muppet? Come here then. Come here then. Go on then. We'll bring it in then. No. 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 Yeah. It's bugging me. And it's bugging me for a while. Because we on the left should be the democratic ones. You know? And the only people I hear that even try to talk about compromise consensus are centrists. And their compromises are bad. Because they always compromise with the right wing, right? What I'm talking about is why can't... I've complained before about centrists. That they refuse to compromise with the left and consistently compromise with the right. But it's not always. It's pretty consistent. And I worry that we on the left are actually at fault for doing the same fucking thing. Right. We'll do it here then. Now I've got to find myself a way across here. Again, it's lucky I've got a third leg. No, I'm not being bruised. It's like 5 foot long. Yes, I know this. I also know this is dangerous to do with my phone. But yeah. Fuck it. What do we think? Over there? Here? Or there? She wants me to kick the ball. Let's have a look. And the reason why I always talk about here is because whilst the water is very fast, right, there are actually plenty of rocks near the surface. Whoa. There are plenty... Me saying, it's alright, I won't slip, and then I nearly slip. There are actually rocks near the surface. If you look, you'll see in some areas, yeah, it's not quite so deep. Donut. Now I could step there. It's still fast. Even there, but that's still fast. I think we're going backwards. Whoop. Yeah, we're going this way. I think. Because there's a... Ah, crap. Well, that's not solid, is it? That is. Alright, let's get rid of some of that junk. Let's get rid of the debris. You are shit, dog. You make me fall over in this water, dog. Right. I'm going for it, guys. I'm going for it. Whoop. Right. Right, okay. Semi-firm footing. I cannot keep... Shit. One step, I reckon. The problem is, I'm now worried about putting him back out. What? What? Ow. Nearly. Come on, Donut. Yeah, I said, I mean, what do you guys reckon? You know? Am I wrong? Am I misinterpreting? Because yeah, I freely admit that I'm still learning when it comes to politics. But, no, I'm quick study. You can't go after the sheep. I don't even think there are sheep in there, but if there were, you're not going after the sheep. Where are you going? Come here, then. Come here, then. Come here, then. Come here. Woof. Come here, then, Donut. Right, Muppet. Come here. Because, yeah, going back to the point, because it really does feel like even some on the left are, because we need change, right? I get that, and I'm one of those calling for change, but I have to say again, as someone who's studied evolution, like, these things don't happen overnight. Most of the time. Like, more often than not, the drastic changes come over time. And people only realise how drastic the changes were once the changes have occurred. You know, like, there's all sorts of new stuff, right? But because there is so much negativity now, and it's weaponized negativity, I must say. I think there are too many who are blind to being coerced into a more authoritarian government. Now, I might piss some people off here, but I don't believe that Sir Keir Starmer is a monster. I don't. I want proof that he's a monster, you know? I think Sir Keir has been a spineless, a fair bit spineless. I will agree with that. But a monster? I don't know. I don't think so. Oh. Woods trying to undress me. What are you doing? I'm so shocked I haven't dropped this phone yet. I really am. Am I mistaking am I myself, you know, falling for confirmation bias where I'm warning others not to? You know, like they see and when I talk about confirmation bias, you know, you see people like Mamdani winning, right? And you're like, well, why don't we do that here? Because here is not New York. I think some lessons can be learned from Mamdani, sure. You know, injecting more positivity into politics, sure. But like, when it comes to policy, I think once again people forget that there are many different types of people that think, you know, that believe many different ways of running government. And in a democracy, you are supposed to try and find a consensus between the different groups within society wherever possible, right? Now, again, I reiterate, it seems weird to me that people who say they believe in democracy refuse to listen to idea, you know, they're like, no, there's this simple way of doing things, and I don't care what you've got to say on the subject. This is what I've heard, this is what I've read, and I don't care what you get to say on the subject. And I am actually seeing this on the left, you know, especially when it comes to wealth taxes. Or this person talked about wealth taxes, this person talked about wealth taxes. What do you mean by wealth taxes? Because again, Labour have been making the wealthy actually pay their fucking taxes. Why they've been squealing so fucking much. And you know, they've raised certain taxes on the more affluent and wealthy. You know? It really isn't as easy as a lot of people want to make it out to be. Petra, where's your ball? Where is it? Donut. A couple of months ago, this was bone dry. Where are you going, Muppet? What are you doing? I think I can put you there. Where are you going, Muppet? Oh, look at this. Where's the ball? Like I said, even in winter, it's fucking lost. I feel like that people have high expectations for something they don't really know what they want. They'll say that they know what they really, really want, or they really, 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 really want, but I'm not entirely sure they actually do. This isn't to say people are stupid, it's just that I don't know if I don't know if people realise just how many conflicting, you know, opinions on what to do people have in society. And this doesn't mean I agree with the right wing or social conservatives, because I don't. What I'm saying is that even on the left and in progressive circles, there are different, you know, people have different ideas on what to do. You get the communists, you get different types of socialists, you get liberal Democrats who, I suppose economically they're left wing, but they're liberals and they're, you know, they are progressive in terms of social policy. So, you know, before anyone has got me, oh, it's winter, why is the dog in the water? She's a collie, collie, cocker spaniel. She will stay warm. And when she gets home, she gets a big towel off where she likes to rip into the towel as well. So we've even made that fun for her, drying her off when she gets home. So she's not going to be dry and have, you know, problems because of that. It'll be cold. Oh, you muppet. You having fun, you muppet? Well, give it here then. Donut. You donut. No, you bring it here. You gotta bring it here. No, you gotta bring it here. No, you gotta bring it. No, because it's gonna keep rolling down here, you muppet. Yeah. I think I'll leave it there at the moment. I can't, you know, do a bit more soon. But I just wanted to, you know, I think the main core of this video is a question. Am I right or wrong? Or at least, how right am I or how wrong am I when I say that I think that there seems to be a misunderstanding of what democracy actually is now amongst a lot of different types of peoples. Left, right, apolitical, centre ground. Is there too much would people agree with me if I said there's too much absolutism? And that is the reason, one of the reasons why we on the left especially cannot get proper wins. One of the reasons. So yeah, let me know. From me and from the Muppet over. Come here, Muppet. Come here then, Muppet. Come here then. Come here then. Good girl. From me and the Muppet. My Shadow Max guys and my sword at your service. Freaks, love and blessings to all of you wonderful badgers. Look after yourselves.